How many times have you revised the theory of sentence correction? 10 times, 15 times, 20 times, 30 times? Or you revise it every day? And do you think it is helpful to keep revising the same thing every day? Are you getting better? I don't think so. So stop revising the theory. So what should you do in spite of revising the theory? In this video, I'll share what is the best way out to master the theory in sentence correction. Hi, my name is Mandeep. I'm a GMAT coach and founder of GMAT Mantra. Yesterday, I was discussing few sentence correction questions with one of my students. So there were 20 questions normally, because after every class, I give a homework to my students. And their job is to write down step-by-step explanation to every question of the homework. And in the next class, they explain me every question step by step. So when we were discussing those 20 questions, in 5 questions, that student make a mistake with verb ing. So wherever verb ing was coming, she was saying that, okay, we're not talking about now, so we should not use verb ing. Now, if you're aware of verb ing can be used in 2-3 ways. One of the ways is that it's a verb. If it's a verb, we can talk about tenses. That means something happening now, if it's acting as a verb. Else, it could be a modifier. If it's a modifier, you cannot say that something happening now. It is just giving extra information about some noun. So wherever she was looking at verb ing, she just tell me, okay, it's not happening now. That's why this option is wrong. I asked him, has she revised the theory of verb ing? She says that she revised the entire theory every day. So I said, after revising so many times, still you have this confusion that when verb ing is a verb and when is it a modifier, you're not able to distinguish. See, the problem is that when you revise the concepts, when you put, keep that laptop or this notes in front of you, we think that we are reading it. We are not actually reading it. It's something already in our head. We're just revising the same thing. So we are not actually reading it again. To read it again, you need concentration, you need focus. But most of the time, just for the sake of, to give ourselves some kind of satisfaction that, oh, I studied, we revise the theory. But when you're revising the theory, you're not improving. You're just repeating the same thing that is there in your head. Whether that thing is right or wrong, you don't know. So when you want to improve your theory, just follow simple things. Okay, don't revise the entire theory in one go. For example, yesterday when we were discussing, there are 3 things that I noticed about that girl. 1, she was making mistake with verb ing. 2nd, she was making mistake with had, which is a past perfect tense. 3rd, she was making mistake with those and that. When it's acting as a modifier, she was not able to identify. So these were the 3 areas in which she was struggling with. So I simply asked her, go back, now just focus on just these 3 topics and revise these topics in such a way that, you're not just revising the things in your head, you're actually reading what is given in the slides or in the theory, what you have written. Okay, read that. Don't revise what is there in your head. Then go back to the same questions that we were discussing and solve the same questions, just being focused on those 3 topics. Okay, so for example, when you're doing the question, focus on verb ing and check what is the usage. Second, I asked her to go to the official guide, look at the first 10 questions of official guide. Okay, just scan the options and wherever she finds verb ing, mark those questions and then go back and solve those questions with the help of verb ing. Questions can be solved in other ways, but specifically I asked her to check the usage of verb ing. So once you revise it, second, when you do this question that you have already done, and then you do some new questions and follow this, you just look for the specific error. You improve on that particular topic. But if you keep revising everything every day, probably you will not go anywhere because you're not actually reading it. You're just revising the same information in your head. So just when you want to improve it, simply first identify the problems. Once you have identified the problems, then go back and when you're reading, make sure that you're reading it. You're not revising the same thing. Okay. Then go to the questions, just scan the options and figure out those questions in which that specific usage or that particular topic is tested and then solve those questions. So if you do that, probably in 10-15 days, because they're not, GMAT sentence correction theory is not wide. There are limited topics, limited concepts. So each day, if you just stick one concept and work on that for an hour, in 10-15 days, you will be good with all the concepts. Try this out and see if it's helpful. Thank you.